Good morning, everybody. All right, today we're going to focus just on shoulders, a little bit of strength building, again, depending on the resistance, a little bit of just building some awareness and stability in those shoulders. So take your pick and do what works for you and for your shoulders. We're going to start with an Arnold press. So you can be seated, you can do these standing. If you're seated, it kind of forces you to be super honest about where you're pushing from. Right? Because you don't want to be swaying the torso to generate the momentum, right? You want your shoulders to be doing the pressing. So you're going to start with the palms in. You're going to lock in the core. Shoulders start back and down. Shoulder blades engage down the back. Reaching up. Shoulders set. Pulling down. So you can think springy out at the bottom, setting the shoulders, pulling down. Not to let those elbows flare out too much, just to keep the shoulders safe, and trying not to arch the mid-back to create power. So try and lock in the core, use the shoulders to think fast press up, control the way back down. And on the pull down, think about it as if you're doing a lat pull down at the gym, so you're really getting those back muscles activated as well. Pull those shoulders sort of in and circle them in and slide them down. All right, next one we're going to do is a lateral raise. I'm going to use a band set up low. You want a fairly light resistance on this. Obviously, you can do this with a very light dumbbell or a light-ish dumbbell. This is not about momentum. This is about really trying to connect to the shoulder. So you want to start so you have a little bit of tension in the band. You're going to lock in the core, right? And the band you want barely in front of you, right? Because you don't want to be pulling back too much or forward too much. So you're going to mostly straighten the arm, tiny bend in that elbow. If you need more bend, it'll take some of the resistance off, right? So just adjust bend in your elbow versus resistance in your band. You're going to squeeze up to the side. At the top, you want to roll that shoulder blade, that shoulder sort of down and back, and then come back with control. Raising up, shoulder rolls down and back, down with control. So staying super honest, nice and slow back down, trying to let gravity in the pull of the band pull the band back down, but you control and resist that pull of gravity back down. So if you keep a little bit of tension in the band, you'll feel the work add up, and you start feeling burn towards the end of the set. If that bothers your shoulder, right, let some of the tension go, reset everything, and then go again. All right, so same thing on the second side. My apologies for turning it back on you, but it does give you a different view of what's going on in the shoulder. So mostly straight arm, raise up to the side. If that shoulder rolls forward, which it sort of naturally tries to do, right? Roll that shoulder back and down, and then come back to the stop. So squeezing up to the side, rolling that shoulder, coming back. So I notice a big difference between my two shoulders on this one, which you will if you've had any sort of shoulder injury, and or the nature of being right or left-handed. So what you don't want to feel is too much tension up in that trapezius, right? If you're really pinning that shoulder back and down through the movement, then the track can turn off. But if you're not keeping that shoulder blade, or you don't have the strength to keep that shoulder blade locked back and down, then that track can fire. So if you need to reset, relax, keep that shoulder down even as you raise, right? So if that shoulder comes up as you raise, that's the trapezius moving, not your shoulder moving. All right, so next thing we're going to do is a single arm rear delt. So you want the band at about chest height. You're going to face the band so that the band is lined up with your center. Same thing you're gonna start. We're gonna start with a mostly straight arm. Shrug the shoulder back and down. Keep the torso locked in. Squeeze the band straight out to the side. Come back to the start. Shoulder rolls down. Squeeze out. Get that extra shoulder down if you need to. Back to the start. Shoulder shrugs back. Squeeze out to the side. Back to the start. So same thing on the second side, right? Weight shrugs back. And shoulder shrugs back. The back end, get that same kind of roll back of the shoulder, right? That same back and down. Also, folks, you should really think about the stabilization when you take that pause at the back, the most challenging part of the range of motion. Right, so it's going to look like shrugging the shoulder back and down, coming out to the side, rolling the shoulder down, coming back to the start. Shoulder coming back and down, out to the side, rolling the shoulder down, coming back to the start. Even that without any weight, if you're really thinking about articulating some of the smaller muscle groups around those shoulder blades, you'll feel it kick in. All right, last but not least, we're going to do a goalpost arm exercise to work on this rotation, pivoting around this angle. This is, again, pretty challenging, so you want a super light band or no band or no resistance, right? You could use your super light 2-pound weights or whatever, that works as well. So I'm going to start with the band out in front. I've got like virtually no tension on the band because I know it's going to get hard once I pull it back. I'm going to pull it back and out so my arms end up being sort of goalpost arms and about in line with my shoulders. I'm going to raise the band up, come back down, and then forward. Shoulders come back and down, rotate up, shoulders down. So I'm pivoting as if I had a rod that went from my shoulder out through my elbow, and when I get it back, I'm just pivoting around that angle. So it looks like this. You're going to pull it back, find that goalpost arm setup, rotate up, down, and then back forward. Shoulders back and down, pull that band back and out, rotate, back, all the way back forward. Pretty challenging movement, and again, everybody's got sort of a different range of motion here, so listen to what your body says about yours and just honor what that limitation is and be okay with it. The point of doing all this work is so that we can make these little improvements and hopefully get healthier shoulders. All right, thanks everybody. Take care.